Today we're going to talk about microphone polar patterns. This is part 2 of our microphone module. So first pattern is going to be cardioid. That is going to be your most common pattern. Microphones with a cardioid pattern pick up quality sound in a heart-shaped pattern in front of the microphone. The sides of the microphone are less sensitive, but will still pick up a usable degree of sound at a closer range, while the rear of the microphones is entirely out of range. So in our polar pattern, this is a 3D representation of it. You'll notice that in front is where most of it is, and then in the back there's a kind of a divot there. That is where it's out of range. So that's how this is a representation of how you read this. So if it's right in front of a source, this is how sensitive the microphone is. This is the degrees on how that sensitivity is changed. So that's going to be your most common. Your Shure SM58, 57. Most dynamic mics are this pattern. A lot of your condenser mics, most of your small diaphragm condenser mics are this pattern, and your large diaphragm will usually they'll either be this pattern or they'll have a switch that will let you select some different patterns, but they'll usually include this one. This is by far the most the most common one. Okay, next one is supercardioid or hypercardioid. These are two different ones, supercardioid and hypercardioid. So in addition to the cardioid pattern, there are also the supercardioid and hypercardioid polar patterns. You'll notice that these polar patterns look quite similar. Both patterns have a similar front-facing pickup pattern, plus an additional back-facing pickup range. The major distinction between these two patterns is that with hypercardioid polar patterns, the rear-facing range is a little bit larger. So, again, if you saw the 3D representation, the mic would be facing this way, and so it has actually more rejection on the sides on hypercardioid and supercardioid, but will pick up a little bit directly behind it, and hypercardioid has a little bit more than supercardioid. All right, next is omnidirectional. Omnidirectional microphones with so omnidirectional microphones pick up audio equally well throughout their whole 360-degree space that the capsule is in, basically. The range of the sphere-like space can vary from microphone to microphone, but the shape of the polar pattern will hold true, and the audio quality will remain consistent from any angle when using an omnidirectional microphone. So this microphone is, these types of polar patterns in microphones are good for if you have a orchestra or a big band or something like that, and you want to stick a couple of these throughout those and get the full effect of everything happening at once. These are good for room mics. These are good for drum mics, for a kit mic. These are not rare at all, but they're just not as common as a cardioid. All right. The last one we're going to talk about is bidirectional, or it's also known as figure 8. So the bidirectional polar pattern, also known as figure 8, because of the shape of the pickup area, forms the outline of a figure 8. It is a bidirectional microphone that records directly in front of and directly behind the capsule without picking up sound from the sides. Okay, so you're picking, if this is your microphone, picking up everything over here everything over here, but has very good rejection from both sides. So directly in front, directly behind, the sides are rejected. Now this is what most ribbon mics are. They're going to be bidirectional from how they're made. Their manufacturing process makes them bidirectional. Now, ribbon mics are amazing for pretty much anything that omnidirectional mics would be good for as well. You'll see a lot of the same use applications for those. So, directly in front, directly behind. Now, you don't have to, when I use my ribbon mic to record my electric guitar, I don't really care what it's picking up behind, but it does get some of that. It does get some bleed in from both sides, but the direct sound is a lot better. You don't have to use both sides on a bidirectional microphone. You just have to be aware of it and plan your uses accordingly. Okay, short lesson this week. Just wanted to get this out there. We'll see you next time.